FTX is selling cryptos. This after an entire year of basically FTX being shut down. This may confuse you, and so I want to make this video where I explain all this. We're going to discuss obviously the FTX stuff. We're going to discuss what else could be affecting the markets this week. There's some updates on inflation. There's some updates coming out of Europe. So all of this is going to have a bit of an impact. This and much more in today's live here. If you're absolutely new to the channel and you have no clue what it's all about, my name is Julian. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the Cake Group. We have several verticals in what we do. We have Bake for retail, getting access to crypto, investing in crypto. We have Levain for the enterprise side. We have Birthday Research as an R&D arm. We develop for blockchains. I actually just came from the Ordinal Summit here in Singapore that was organized by Birthday Research. We also have a VC fund. On top of that, I work a lot with the European Union. There's a lot of regulating work going on. And obviously, I am a crypto author. I write books. I do a little bit of YouTube. So I try to wear different hats. And I try to make this as rational and reasonable how the crypto world works. I try to stay as intellectually honest when it comes to certain topics. If you love this stuff and you also want to become crypto fit, then I would love if you give me a subscribe and follow here on the various channels. With this, let's dive in. I got my notes here, so I'm going to open them so I know what I'm talking about and all the things that are happening. Well, I think in general, over the past weeks, we've seen a very, very kind of stable market. Most of cryptos actually been more like stable coins. It's been very, very difficult to generate much alpha, getting a lot of returns. A lot of it was a bit of waiting and just a little bit of suffering as well. Yesterday in our office here in Singapore, I held a meetup, or we held a meetup where I gave a talk. And in that talk, I talk about, if you actually look back all the way pre-pump in June, so this is 3 months ago, we've been actually sideways since then. So now all this ETF hopium that we've had is kind of gone. And sadly, Bitcoin is going into a death cross, meaning there's a high risk that we're seeing a 50% sell-off in Bitcoin. Now, the other coins are not as bad, but many times the charts are not so crucial about this. Many times the fundamentals are more important, and what's actually happening in the real world is going to show on the chart. And it's not that the chart dictates what people do in the real world. On top, the US dollar, surprisingly, very strong. And that also has to do with some hopium that the Fed is done raising their rates in 8 days. Next week, we're going to have an update on interest rates. And so people are expecting that we're not going to see much of a change. We're going to stay at 5.25%. It's obviously also interesting because on Thursday, the ECB, the European Central Bank, is going to make a interest rate decision. And it looks like they're going to halt as well. So I think that's in the whole grand scheme of things, I think important. Today, Tuesday, we are having the start kind of bit to the crypto week here, Token 2049 in Singapore. Today was the Ordinal Summit. Tomorrow and on Thursday, we're having Token 2049. On Thursday, we're having an event with Levain for the enterprise side. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Formula One. So it's an entire packed week, a lot of crypto action here. And I think there's going to be quite some rumbling, talking, interactions. And obviously the topic of the entire week, I saw this yesterday already with the meetup and then meeting people, is the main topic of the video today, which is FTX potentially selling off about $200 million worth of crypto every week. Now, this is going to impact every coin a bit differently because some of these coins are super thinly traded. I think a lot of attention is here on Solana, obviously also on FTT. I think the largest position after Solana and FTT is Bitcoin. I think it's about $200 million worth of Bitcoins. Some are wrapped, some are native. I'm not sure if 200 million is going to have so much of an impact, but in general, it's definitely not good for the prices. Now, this would be starting tomorrow, and it's really something to watch. And I think we've seen a bit of some volatility here in the last 12 to 24 hours, where some of the participants kind of started to get ready here for this entire kind of action. So let's see how this is going to plan out tomorrow. And I think it's going to be quite crucial. On top of that, tomorrow, we're going to have interest rates coming in from the US. Now, why is that relevant? Because if these interest rates are quite stable. Now, actually, people are expecting maybe a slight increase over, like, compared to the last read, maybe a bit of sideways. The key thing is they're not really expecting them to keep going down. They're also not expecting them to, like, go up dramatically. As long as there's some kind of stability in those rates, this would be good. But anything else would be quite kind of shaking. And this is obviously not so nice and not so beneficial. And I think that's definitely something that's key to watch in the entire week. Other than that, non-crypto, Apple's Wanderlust event is today. They are expected to showcase their new iPhone 15. Let's see, my phone here, broken as well, screen broken, everything. It's an old phone. I'm due for an update, and I'm due for supporting my own Apple shares. Let me know if you're getting anything new, new iWatch, new iPhone. Apple is putting some stuff out there, so it's definitely going to be interesting. For all of those that are like myself investing in DeFiChain, DeFiChain got their special DFIP approved yesterday. There is massive rewards coming in for liquidity mining. Now, at the moment, the rates there, the returns are insanely high. It's about 500%. I know this always sounds a bit sketchy when you hear this for the first time. This is just because liquidity is still limited. So the biggest money to make right now in DeFiChain is really providing this liquidity, mainly with Solana, Polkadot, Sui, Matic, Ethereum, to the ecosystem, to the DeFiChain ecosystem. If you supply those coins, there's a lot of arbitrage opportunities, and then there's a lot of liquidity mining cash flow opportunities. And so obviously once liquidity goes up, those returns are going to go down, probably going to go into the 20-30% per year range. Still very attractive, but for this, a lot of liquidity comes in. And yeah, there's a good chance that with that, the entire DeFiChain ecosystem and DFI price is doing well. Also on BitMEX, very interesting, they listed DFI with up to a 4x leverage. 4x, I think, is still quite okay. Some of the 10x or 100x is a bit on the crazy side. So definitely an action-packed week ahead, and I actually think a bit of a volatile week ahead. People are back from their summer holidays. Definitely, we've seen this last week was kind of that last week, and so there's definitely more action in all of this. So quite exciting. I'm looking way more right now in what's happening in the markets. I've been quiet for the past 2 weeks just because there wasn't so much going on. It was a bit of a summer break. So now a lot of it back at the desk. Quite interesting to see. Let me know what you're watching. Let me see what's happening on your side. What are you watching? What is the key action? Do you think the FTX sell-off is gonna have a big impact here? I see RR22 saying, hey, this is gonna be sold OTC, shouldn't really have much of an impact. Well, even OTC is gonna have some impact for the very simple reason because the buyers who buy OTC could have also bought spot. So it will always have some impact. Any kind of selling will have an impact. And so also that kind of selling. And to me, it's questionable if the current market depth, the market liquidity can actually handle 200 million US dollars of extra selling every week. Don't forget, there's always extra. And you cannot just look at trading volumes. A lot of this trading volume is wash trading. It's very fake. It's not natural demand. And so many times 200 million US dollars a week can be dramatic for some coins. And even I do think, I mean, depends on how much pressure they're going to put on Bitcoin. But even Bitcoin, if there would be 50 million US dollars extra selling a week right now, I think the market would feel it just because the market is very thinly traded at the moment. It's just not a lot of depth and a lot of liquidity, just how the market is at this very moment. Let me know your thoughts. If you get value at this, don't forget to click the subscribe button. If you're not a customer at Big, head over to big.io, sign up, do your dollar cost averaging. We have some really cool promotions going on there. And then, yeah, buy the dip, build long-term wealth. Looking forward to that. With this, all the best. Have a great week. If you're in Singapore, come over to the office, say hi, see you at the events. All the best. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.